It's time for an inside look at the most powerful motorsport on the planet. WFO Radio, NHRA Nitro.
Hey everybody, WFO. Welcome back. Another week of the podcast. And I love what's going on as we get ramped up for NHRA drag racing. Our Ignition show is going great. Having a lot of fun on that show. And just the way we're rolling out the show has been a whole lot of fun. You're going to hear Vincent Nobile on this one. Vincent Nobile, the return, the comeback. That is Vincent Nobile. And he'll be the first to say, hey, this is a two-race deal. We'll see what happens in the future. But I can tell you, I'm a fan of Vincent Nobile. When we first started WFO, Vincent was, kid coming on the scene. But he offered one of the first professional-level team to offer to put a WFO radio sticker on his car. This is over 10 years ago. And I am not going to ever forget that. And that's why, I appreciate it. The people's cars are like very, very personal to them. And for him to offer to run our sticker, it just made a big impression on me, and I really and always appreciate it. Even to this day, I don't ask people to run the sticker. I never do. Hey, will you put my sticker on your car? And sometimes people feel guilty about it. I would never do that. I have listeners do that. They choose to do it on their own. But Vincent offered and did and ran the sticker, and I really appreciate it, and I really admire him as a driver. We're going to hear from Vincent on the show in the next minute or two. Real quick, though, I want to mention the people that make WFO Radio possible. Like, this show doesn't happen without the sponsors. We're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're all over the social media. We have time to do all of this because a couple of great companies recognize that we're trying really hard to grow the fan base of the sport of drag racing for the people that are on this show. And the people who are supporting the show have great products. These are great products. And when you need them, please use them. Guys like Marvin Rodak. Rodak's gourmet coffee and grills, hot sauces, spice rubs. You can find him by going to rodakscoffeeandgrills.com or just call him. He works old school. Uses a phone. 817-924-6821. Now, the gourmet coffee is roasted fresh per your order, and it comes up right to your door. And yes, it's a little more expensive than the vacuum-packed garbage you're probably buying on sale 2-for-1 in the grocery store. But you will notice the difference. It is a great experience. But for me, the habanero endorphin booster hot sauce is the best single product. The one thing in my life that I will never be able to do without it. The habanero endorphin booster. You should try it. 817-924-6821. Also, MagicDryUS.com. Tommy Thompson, Scott Palmer, supporting drag racing, supporting WFO. Thank you, Scott. MagicDryUS.com. Total Seal. We're doing a podcast for Total Seal. You can learn a lot about a lot, why piston rings are important, but it's not even so much that as the interesting personalities. We've spoken with Jason Line and Pat Musey and Stevie Fast Jackson on the podcast. Don Ott is a sprint car legend from Pennsylvania, going to talk about building engines for sprint cars on the next Hidden Horsepower by Total Seal. We've also got Keith Dorton, one of the pioneers, one of the OGs, engine building in NASCAR country. Keith Dorton coming up on a future edition of Hidden Horsepower. You're going to want to subscribe to them all. But the whole exercise lets you know that Total Seal Piston Rings cares about making the best piston rings in the business. So if you're an engine builder, call Keith Jones, 800-874-2753. Tell them you heard about it on WFO Radio. If you're an engine builder, from stock eliminator to Formula One to a bracket racer, by all means. And they make piston rings for all kinds of stuff, including giant air compressors, small air compressors. It was amazing to get a tour of that place. Samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology, 713-683-3817. I'm hitting you with a lot of numbers, but if you are looking for a great education in a great field like machining, you'll remember the number, and this will strike a chord with you. Maybe you've got the directionless kid sitting in his room playing the PlayStation or the Xbox, and those aren't even relevant anymore, are they? I know PlayStation is. But he loves racing, and he loves making things with his own hands, but a career and an education in that field seems distant and far off. Samtech.edu is where you hone those skills, literally. 713-683-3817. Start your education at full speed. And yes, there'll be a new samtech.edu factory stock podcast rolling out real soon next week as we get ready for the Gatornationals. And finally, Frank Hawley's drag racing school, the Dragster Adventure. It is a cool experience you go on. You drive dragsters for the day, and you compete against yourself and maybe even other people. They tour around the country. There's a lot of people that do a lot of things for fun. Reward yourself, or maybe your sales team or best friends, for all the hard work you do. Go to the Dragster Adventure, 866-480-7223. Frank has invited me to take part in the March 27th edition of the Dragster Adventure in Gainesville, Florida. I am going there. There was a couple of spots remaining as of last week. You want to race in the same class as me? March 27th, Gainesville, Florida, Dragster Adventure, Gainesville Raceway. And it's going to be fun. You know, how am I going to do? Oh, the Ignition Show, we're talking all about it. Like, I'm being attacked for lowering the expectations. Like, lower those expectations. Like, am I going to be able to do a burnout? I haven't done a burnout in years. I don't even know. It's probably going to be very embarrassing for me. Yeah. Your chance to be in the class with me or a class on your own. 866-480-7223. Look at that. Sponsor mentions are over. Simple as that. And now we're going to get into it with our guest. Joining us now, he will be back for a little pro stock action. 13 career wins on his resume, but really he is known for being a great guy, positive personality, positive energy out there at the track. Mr. Vincent Nobile. Vincent, welcome back. How are you?
Hey, Joe, I'm good. Thanks for having me. It's been a little while.
All right. So when I texted you about this, I was joking about, the big return. The big return. Vincent Nobile is back. The return. You calmed that down a little bit, but I'm excited that you're back. Tell us what has inspired this brief return to NHRA Pro Stock.
Yeah, I wish I could say it was a return, but no, it's just for a race or two. Actually, I'm going to go down there in Orlando and race at Doorslammer Nationals prior to Gainesville, and I'll be in Gainesville. But like I said, it's just a one race deal for now. Who knows? Anything could happen, but I'm looking forward to it. It's been a little while since I got to hop in a NHRA Pro Stock car, but I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Okay, why? Let's talk about that. You love to race. You're racing right now. You're working in the business world. You're you're a very busy guy. But this back-to-back Orlando, Gainesville, maybe a couple of others. You did run the mountain motor stuff. I will ask you about that. But what inspired this for this couple of races?
What? Believe it or not, Richard Freeman, owner of Elite, he gave me and my father a call. And we were able to work up a deal. But, this racing stuff, I've never done drugs in my life, but they say this is worse than drugs. And I could vouch for that. It's a way of life. It's an addiction. And, to be home, sitting, watching, it's painful. So, when an opportunity comes your way, you gotta take it.
I can imagine, Vincent, watching everybody out there competing, knowing that you've got what it takes to win Wally's, leave on time. You won in Reading, you won in Vegas, the inaugural 4 wide, and being out there and being young and successful and having all this, but this is your dad's passion, your passion. If you were ever going to do it full time again, what would it require?
I mean, honestly, it requires money. At the end of the day, it requires money. But that's basically it. It's so hard to find sponsorship nowadays, and it's basically a full-time job. Unless you have the money to spend, it's a full-time job. Going out there and looking for money, looking for sponsorship. But unless you're out there, it's hard. It's hard to find it. So maybe this will turn into something, open some eyes, and maybe we can make something happen.
What about the mountain motor program? Last year, you ran the mountain motor deal. It was the first year of the mountain motor deal, and I thought it was very interesting. I myself have always been a 500 cubic inch NHRA Pro Stock guy because of my region, living in South Florida. Never really big exposure to the mountain motor Pro Stockers, but they're fast and they're loud and they're cool. And I got to get to know them this year, or last year, I should say, and they were very interesting and fun and different enough that I don't think it takes away. I don't think they take away from one another, and I think they can coexist and all that. So you ran some races last year, and I was under the impression you were going to run some more races this year. What is the status of that?
So that kind of fell through a little bit. I believe Roy Hill, he decided on, he wanted me to drive one of two cars that he planned on doing. I think his plan is to run one car for now, I believe with Mike Bell, and kind of see what was going on, what goes on, what transpires with, the whole class in NHRA, and, just get a feel for things at first. So that deal, I'm not going to be doing it, unfortunately, but, as you were saying, those cars, I don't think it's going to take from the NHRA class and whatnot, but that's kind of my father's roots are those mountain motor cars. I grew up watching him race that. That's kind of what he could afford to do for the most part in his racing career, being that it doesn't quite cost as much money to be competitive with one of those cars. Not saying it's any easier to run one or to race one, but as far as an expense, it's definitely cheaper to run one.
Makes sense in that, all the engine development and the race that is within the race that we don't really even see or many of us don't get to think about. And so now I'm excited that you're going to run this race, but also it's just a highlight of one of the challenges in our sport that a marketable, fun, entertaining, good guy like yourself who is extremely talented behind the wheel of one of these cars. It's just not accessible at the moment to be a part of it. But from what I understand from the people that I'm talking to, it is moving maybe in the right direction. So I'd like to lean on you a little bit as someone who loves pro stock, who's got experience with pro stock, who wants to be in pro stock, the state of where they are right now of pro stock. What do you think about what you're seeing, what's happening within the category? First two races, we've had 20 and 19 cars. That seems to be good. The availability of horsepower across the teams, although Elite's, their two in-house cars are killing it right now. But just give me your general state of the direction of where you think pro stock is.
I think pro stock's pretty good. Is it what it was in the 80s? No, definitely not. There's not going to be 30, 40 cars showing up at Indy, but I think there's definitely been a step in the right direction, especially in the last year or two. As far as you're saying with car counts, there's been a full field, I believe, at every race last year, and the start of this year has been great so far, especially in comparison, I guess, to the other classes. So, as far as that goes, it's going well. The only thing I'd like to see is maybe a little bit more I guess diversity as far as manufacturer goes. It'd be nice to see some Dodges out there again, and maybe some Mustangs, some Fords. Like the old days. You had a diverse class. That's really all I'd like to see. No one really. I'm pretty sure everybody could agree. No one likes seeing all Camaros out there, but it is what it is right now.
I agree completely. And Fernando Quadra was on WFO, and folks, that's in the archive if you want to go back and listen. A very interesting interview. He says for that reason, he is going to field 3 Mustangs later on in the year. They are skipping the Gatornationals, and so it is all Camaros entered at the Gatornationals. And I do agree that is definitely a problem because those Ford people, and I'm not a Ford guy or a Dodge guy, but the engine, just like in the nitro categories, they're all Chrysler Hemis. But you got John Force with a Camaro, and you got, J.R. Todd with a Toyota, and they can at least fly the flag a little bit. The diehard fans, maybe they don't get it. We need that in pro stock, too. All Camaros is not a good thing, and of all the entries at the Gatornationals right now, it will be all Camaros, and so that is not a good thing. But to me, someone's got to, they got to just rebody the car. They got to just dive in with the Ford or the Dodge. I don't even know which Dodge it would be at this point.
Yeah, at this point, I'm not sure. But like you said, for the fans, there's always going to be Ford fans. There's always going to be Mopar fans, and obviously there's going to be GM fans. For those people, you got to have different body styles out there. Unfortunately, a guy like me who's really just a driver and doesn't have much say, but as far as the team owners and whatnot, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to, if you have multiple cars out there, put different manufacturer cars out there within your own team. It's only going to help yourself promote your own class, promote the sport.
Absolutely. And, I guess there are things with aero balance, I guess. I don't know. But we got to see some Fords. People, you got to spend some money to break this all Camaro thing going up. All right, let's handicap the season in that Erica and Jeg have been dominant. Erica wins the championship. Jeg wins the Auto Club Finals and the Winter Nationals and has like 12 runs in a row or something where he was low of the round. Elite clearly has got something going on right now that's got to make you very excited to get to drive one of their cars. KB a little bit behind. McGay looks like he's got some power. There's some people coming in that are, leasing power from others. Kenny Delco, that has been really interesting to see Kenny, a Northeasterner like yourself, having some career races in terms of performance. Who do you like out there in terms of performance? Like, who do you think is going to be your toughest competition for the Wally?
Oh, just to be out there, it's all tough. If you qualify for the field, anyone could win on Sunday. And that's the thing, obviously Elite, they have their stuff together right now. They've won both, starting races, qualified number one at the 2 as well. So, yeah, they're doing great. You can't count anyone out though, KB, all their championships, they're going to run good. And that could come as soon as Gainesville. It's just about making a good run. But as far as competition, like I said, everyone out there has a chance to win, and you can't take it easy on anyone. In my eyes, I'm the underdog. I haven't driven a car in a year and a half, so hopefully I remember how to do it anyways.
So it's funny to hear you say that. Last year we were doing these video bits from the pits, from Matt Hartford's pit, right? Where, I got to touch the car, do different things, change a valve spring, that kind of stuff. And at the end of the year, they let me warm up the car. And it was a really eye-opening experience for me. And I've driven some fast cars, but never did I experience the car like fighting back against me, like the clutch pushing back when you rev the throttle and how hard it is. And then I started to imagine myself in there trying to cut a light against, Greg Anderson or Erica, and how challenging these cars are to drive. So I went immediately back over to, every pro stock racer I could talk to that gave a care about what I might say, which was few. But you guys need to do a better job of explaining how hard this is. This is a really challenging thing. And everybody says, oh yeah, it's hard. But the description of how hard it is to be in there doing the burnout is hard. Like, you can't do a burnout. A burnout is hard. Just to warm the car up is something you got to monitor. So you shaking off some rust in a 500 cubic inch pro stock, what is that going to be like? And just talk a little bit about how challenging they are to drive.
Well, I'm hoping it's kind of like riding a bike. That's what I'm hoping for anyways. But I guess we'll see in a few days here whether or not I still got it. But like you're saying, it's not because I do it and whatnot, but it's definitely it's not an easy car to drive. There's a lot going on. I went down in the basement with my brother-in-law, Hector Honor Jr., hitting the practice tree, and that makes it all look easy. We're down there, we're 00, 000, teens. Anybody could do that. But now put yourself in a car. There's a million variables going on. Now you need to stage the car. You don't want to deep stage. You want to make sure you're shallow. You got the intensity and your adrenaline's running, and you got to worry about your opponent. The pressure. So there's a million variables along with the car cooperating to driving and doing well and cutting a good light that a lot of people don't understand. You just got to experience it and do it to understand. You got to get in the car and be like, wow, this is a lot harder than I thought it would be. But the biggest thing in driving a pro stock car, in my opinion, is staying focused. If you could stay focused and try and block out absolutely everything out of your mind other than just driving the race car, that's the key. That was the key to my success. Hopefully I could still do that.
I have no doubt. Vincent. you might go out there and win this thing. Who knows? Certainly a strong showing and some good lights. I appreciate you coming on WFO Radio Podcast. You know, I'm talking about the big return, but I think it could happen. I think it could happen somewhere along the line. So I'm happy that you're keeping your head involved in the sport because let's face it, we all love pro stock. It's a certain type of person that loves pro stock. There's a lot of those people out there. There's more on the way. The right opportunity is going to come down the pike, and I think you're going to be one of the people that people think about for it. You know, maybe a hired gun or maybe, the business side of it. Who knows? But the opportunity to be out there week in, week out, if you so choose, I think will come again, and maybe that gets started here in these next couple of weekends. Thank you for coming on the podcast, Vincent. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much, Joe. See you out there.
There he goes, Vincent Nobile with us here on WFO Radio NHRA podcast. And you could talk about a lot of different people who, they should be involved in the sport. And I would love to see Vincent involved in the sport. It's just as he said, it's a full-time job, keeping sponsors. And when you got a family, is that the most responsible thing to be focused on your drag racing career? The kid is obviously a very smart and sharp young person. I really would like to see him back out there driving someone else's car. Like, who knows what opportunities may arise? But clearly, he is very strong in the cockpit of a race car. Simple as that. Thank you, Vincent, for coming on WFO. And thank you, Erica, last week for, giving us the tip that we got another driver coming out for this big race. And here it is. Boom. You got Erica, you got Jag, you got Vincent. Like the first couple of weeks of WFO for Pro Stock fans has been great. If you love Pro Stock, subscribe to WFO Podcast. You can go to the website, WFOradio.com, and see many different places where you can subscribe, whatever fits your life better, as in which app. We have our own app, but also SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Got to tell you, Apple Podcast app isn't the best. It's okay. Spotify, SoundCloud have been fantastic, convenient, easy listening. Simple as that. And we've got more WFO to come later on this week. Do you want to say shout out to our sponsors, Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School, for instance? They have invited me to participate in the Dragster Adventure on March 27th. There were a couple of spots remaining as of last week, 866-480-7223 if you want to be in the Dragster Adventure class that I am in. But now, the Ignition Show, we have started to discuss, like, Joe versus the field. Like, am I going to race and win? Am I going to lose? How am I going to do? All of a sudden, I got a rep to protect. So it's kind of interesting. I, of course, am just going to have fun and working very hard to lower all expectations. But listen to the Ignition podcast to hear others elevate the expectations. What will happen as WFO Joe takes part in the Dragster Adventure at Frank Hawley's Drag Racing School? It should be very interesting. Samtech.edu, the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology, Factory Stock Podcast coming soon. Go to Apple Podcasts and Spotify and SoundCloud and subscribe immediately so you can have the first one, the next one, the first one of 2020, Factory Stock Podcast, coming soon. Word is Cowboy Mark Powick going to be involved and others, so stay tuned for that. Total Seal Piston Rings, the leader in ring seal technology. Got podcasts for a lot of people who sponsor this show, huh? 800-874-2753. Got some really good Total Seal hidden horsepowers coming out, and you're going to want to subscribe to those. But really, the exercise is, not only do you get a cool podcast, but you learn that Total Seal piston rings are the piston ring maker you should be using for whatever your project. That is the point. So if you've got a bracket engine, if you've got a stock eliminator engine, if you happen to be a Formula One team, you'd probably be using them already. But the point is cutting-edge technology. Cutting-edge technology and processes, and I've seen it and witnessed it in person now. TotalSeal.com. Call Keith Jones. Tell him you heard it on WFO. MagicDryUS.com. Scott Palmer. Magic Dry. The official organic absorbent of the NHRA. Magic Dry. The official organic absorbent of the NHRA. Simple as that. You got a spill? Clean it up with Magic Dry. You want to use cat litter? Big mistake. It's lighter, it's better, magicdryus.com. And RoadAxeCoffeeandGrills.com having a conversation this past weekend with some really great friends about Road Axe and the Habanero Endorphin Booster Hot Sauce. If nothing else, maybe you're not a coffee person, or maybe you're not looking for a grill, but so many people I know love hot sauce. Just this one product, the Road Axe Habanero Endorphin Booster Hot Sauce. I'm telling you, it's one of the greatest single products I have ever tried, bar none. And I'm a hot sauce guy. I watch the hot ones. It's not the kind of hot sauce that's going to burn your head off. It's not what it is. It's just pleasant and delightful. And when they say endorphin booster, endorphins are good, and it boosts them, and you can feel it, and it'll put a smile on your face. Love it. 817-924-6821. So if you want to support WFO, just order a bottle of hot sauce from Marvin. Or I'm telling you, get 4 of them, because you are going to love it. There's no doubt you're not going to love it. And then give it away to friends if for some crazy reason you don't love it, and then go to see your shrink and find out why, because this thing is pretty much universally loved by everybody that I've given it to, certainly. RoadAxeCoffeeandGrills.com. WFO stickers, you want them free? You got to pay. No, you just send a self-addressed stamped envelope. You fill out the envelope to the address I'm about to give. You put a stamp on that envelope, 2 preferably. I could put more stickers in and not have any worry about them arriving. You take that self-addressed stamped envelope, put it in another envelope, and send it to this address. Castello Media /WFO stickers, P.O. Box 848-353, Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33084. If you missed that, you can just click rewind. Simple as that. And you might be wondering, why does Joe have to explain how to send a self-addressed stamped envelope? Because there are a lot of people in our world now these days that have not sent an envelope to anybody, let alone a self-addressed stamped envelope. Like, what is that? A self-addressed stamped envelope. Like, what's that concept? People don't get it. Send your self-addressed stamped envelope to Castello Media /WFO stickers, P.O. Box 848-353, Pembroke Pines, Florida, 33084. Now, more WFO is coming. You've probably learned by now that we're rolling out WFO radio across the week, so that WFO comes every day instead of just one day. That you've got WFO in your life across the week. And we even got you ready for the weekend last week, which I thought was kind of fun with our Ignition show. Always love to hear your feedback. Joe@WFOradio.com. We've got our Patreon squad, patreon.com/WFO radio, where those guys get all the interviews as soon as they're done immediately, first, before everybody, because they're Patreons and they support the show directly. So that's an option for you as well. All right, everybody. See you on the next one. WFO.
This is WFO Radio.
I love WFO Radio. Oh, yeah.
The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
We're talking gourmet coffee. We're talking hot sauces. We're talking spice rubs. We're talking everything good at RoadAxeCoffeeandGrills.com. Marvin Rodak, been doing it since the 70s. Figured out that life is better with great coffee. And oh, he's so right. 817-924-6821. Call Marvin. He'll roast up some coffee fresh for you. Throw in some hot sauce, some spice rub, and you will be loving it. Hit him up, RoadAxeCoffeeandGrills.com.
Start your education at full speed with the School of Automotive Machinists and Technology. Accelerate your career as a high-performance engine builder with classroom instruction and practical hands-on experience in the lab, on the dyno, and at the track. In addition to the blockhead and CNC programs, SAM now offers motorsport, EFI tuning, and an Associates of Applied Science degree. And SAM is a military-friendly school, approved to train veterans and other eligible persons under the GI Bill. Start your education at full speed. Go to samtech.edu today.
You're working in the shop, you've got spills, you've spilled oil, it's everywhere. What are you going to do? I know what you're going to do, but that's not the best way to do it. The best way to do it is to go to magicdryus.com and order the official organic absorbent of the National Hot Rod Association, Magic Dry. It's lighter, it absorbs more, it's better for the environment. It's made out of coconut. It's made in America. magicdryus.com. They've got spill kits that include everything you need for a regular, normal household spill, all the way up to a large industrial spill. We always say, if you've got a cat, get Cat Spot. If you've got a shop, if you've got a factory, if you've got a spill, call Magic Dry. That's magicdryus.com. Hey, engine builders, Total Seal piston rings are the leader in ring seal technology, and they go out of their way to help their customers and will make custom sets for any specific piston you might have. Customer service, top notch. Made in America? Absolutely. They're located in Phoenix, Arizona, and they've got everything it takes to develop the world's best piston rings. Give them a call at 800-874-2753 or go to TotalSeal.com. Attention adrenaline junkies, Frank Hawley's Dragster Adventure is calling you. Rides available for the 2020 season. Go to frankhawley.com. They're coming to a track near you. It makes a great gift, and you know the holidays are coming, whether it be licensing for super comp, super gas, all the way up to top alcohol. They can do it. But if you're a drag racing fan and you've always imagined what it might be like to drive a dragster, to accelerate 0 to 60 in 3 seconds and run 10s in the quarter mile, give them a call. 866-480-7223, frankhawley.com, the Dragster Adventure, and tell them you heard it on WFO.
Hey, what's up, WFO Universe? It's Kathy Fisher. Join me along with Joe Costello every Sunday morning on Motor Trend for Performance TV. That's 8:30 a.m. Eastern. We'll see you then.
This is WFO Radio.